In this presentation, I will show some modeling when we have an already existing structure that is modeling impact. First, some view of the elements that we have already. Inside AutoCAD, you can see the model here. Uh, it's like an industrial building with 2 floors, hollow cores, some pre-stressed beams, some columns, and solid walls with a brick face. So we are doing the solid part here, and of course they are adding insulation and bricks on site. The same project you can also see in the model viewer. Inside here you can see how far as we are now then. The beams, hollow cores, and the walls. The same project in different views. This one is directly from the database, and this is the AutoCAD interface. We also have the same elements on elevations. The west and the east facade is not done yet, but the south and the north is done. And you can see it here again. South and north is done. West and east is missing. So we will start by modeling the west facade, and then we will mirror it over to the east one. And we will model floor-wise now. You can of course model also the whole at once. So then we should start modeling the elevation facing west here. I start by actually splitting up AutoCAD into 2 viewports. So I have one plan seen from the top and one isometric. And then I go to like this, 2 vertical ones. And this one I want to see from top. And let's also rotate it so we see it best for modeling the west facade like that. And we zoom in. Something like that. And then I just want to fix this one. And what I want to do is that I only want to see the external reference for that floor. As you see, I also have the external reference for the second floor. That is the 2D information I've got from the client. So now I isolate, so I only have those information. And then I can start the modeling here. So I will be focused on what I'm doing. As you can see here, we have an opening between those two here. That's the garage that we should add, a garage door. And there are one opening more in the other part as well, this one. So there are 2 openings like that. Okay, so do the modeling then. We draw the walls, and we should have a solid wall. As I said before, we have a solid wall, and on top of that we will add insulation and we will add bricks. So this is just the solid precast part we are doing now then. So I click and I just set my justification point correctly, like that. And then I can start to draw my wall. And we also, before we start to draw, we should also set up then how we want to have it in solid view, like that. And as you can see, you can also set up other things, like connections in top and bottom, like we will do now then. We are then using one called J48203 in top, and in bottom we are using one called J48201, like that. Okay, so that will then set up the location of the wall. And I also connect it to an elevation, to the west elevation, like that. Okay, so then we start to draw. So I click down here, and then I would like to have a lintel. So I type LE for lintel, and then the dialog pops up, and I can set it to the correct values that I want to have, like this. and I say OK, and then I click the other side, and then I continue. As you can see here, the walls are coming. I can split this wall later if I like to, so I can go all the way here. Click, and then we want another lintel. As you see now, that wall becomes red. That's because it's too heavy. We will look at that soon, but I will just finish up my lintel like that, and then we go all the way out like that. So there I have drawn my walls. And now I like to split this wall into two. And I want to split it behind the column here. So I split it vertically and click the wall like that. And let me see once again, wall. And we can have 16 in the gap. That will be fine. And we click where we want to split it. I want to split it in the center there. And I can split it with an end cap if I like to. Like having a straight edge with gap, and that will be the splitting. Like, let's see here, if we zoom in there, you can see like it's split with that one. So that was the modeling part. What I will continue now is to connect into the current structure. So then I need to show the current structure, of course. And then we go to like this, and we see all of the elements again. And then I can continue to connect the walls together. So then I like to connect two of the walls together to show you how I connect those two walls. And to make it easier for you to see, I isolate those objects like that. In this view, I also change to a different, so you can see the connection easier. Okay, and then we start to connect the walls together. So we take connect wall. We have the command here, and I select the walls. And the program finds available solutions. In this case, I want to have loops. I have one with plates also. You can make them really easily yourself, those connections, and use them as you like. And then we have the distribution of the components, and then we can go through solutions. Like you see here, this is where, as we want it to be, you can also change so you have it on that side. But in this case, we want these solutions, so then we say apply. And it says update, and we update the wall together, and it recalculates lift and placing of the anchors and everything. And let's have a look at the solution now in this viewport now. As you can see, you have the loop-to-loop connection here. That is how you connect them together. And you see it's also place the lifts accordingly, depending on the weight of the element. That you also can see if you hover over the element, you will get the mass of it. As you can see, this one was a quite small one compared to the other one. So then I have modeled the elements in the first floor here. We can of course change to something that you can see it easier, like X-ray. You can see the connections better here. So the program takes care of the connection here between the walls. Here is one that I have missed, so let's do that again then. Connect walls like that. Click the walls, that one and that one should be joined. And we use loops like I said before, and we connect. I only want to have one here, so I go to 1 and we set that to 0 like this, and we say mid between those 2 points, that one and that one, and then we apply, and the program fixes the connection between those two walls together. So when we are this far, we want to save the walls then. So, and then they will of course also, like you see here now, they are not saved. So even if I refresh here, I cannot see them because they are not in the database, in the BIM database yet. But let's save them down then. So we say save and we say selection and we click the order we want to have them saved. First this one, then this one, and you can click in the order, or you can just set it to be save everything. That's up to you how you want these names to be. So, and then we are on the first floor, so I want to continue with 101. And it will look now through and see if it can find any equal elements that are the same. Then they will get the same marks. As you can see here now, they are marked. And if I refresh my model, they will also come here. So let's start modeling the second floor. So I isolate, so I have the 2D material again. And then we start to model like this. So we should draw a gable wall here. So we say, first of all, we check the floor. It should be on, not on first, it should be on second floor like that. And then we start to draw. And we click, we say that it should be a solid wall, and we click the start point like that. And then we say shape, and we say that we want to have a gable wall, and it should be leaning 4 degrees like that. Okay, and we click the end of it. And now you see that we get a really high wall here, we should split this up in smaller pieces. But first I like to add some openings to it. So I draw some openings. And you see I have defined those with opening. This is a window. So I click and the direction like that. And we add one more. I could of course just continue the command like this. So we have one window from here to here. Again. Or we can just click in the direction like that, and then we click the next one, this direction like that, this direction like that, this direction like that, and this direction like that, and finally this direction like that. So now we have the windows. As you see, they are not added to the element yet, but that I can do. So we say edit wall, and we say add, and it adds all that is in it limits. And now we have the wall looking like this instead. And now we should split it up, and we should split it behind the columns here. So let's run the split wall command again, and we say, sorry, I need to edit again, and first of all, add. Finalize the command, so now it recalculates the center of gravity. Again, let's split. We click, that's the wall, and we want to click just behind those one. Let's see if we can get that one. Spacing, we can set it to 0 now, the gap, and then we just click each place where we want to have the behind the columns, like I said. Let's see the midpoint between that one. And now we split it up. Yeah, let's go with a straight edge. And here we have splitted it up into pieces. And again, the same like we did before, connect wall. I just show with one here now. And then we say this one with loops, and we click the amount, and we click where we want to have it, and we apply. So this we do with all of them like that. So then we have modeled them all the walls, and the connections are all done between the walls, as you can see in this face here. And also the walls are visible in the model viewer. So let's open up the elevation drawing and see how we stand right now. Here you see we have elevation north already, and we have elevation south. And we are missing the west and east. So let's generate them. So we take generate elevation and we say west. We get a question about dimension and we say yes, and it's all dimension and ready, like this. And of course we can do changes here as well. And let's do the east elevation as well then. So we take generate on that one as well. Say east. And then we have the east and we get the same question about dimensions. So we can get windows and the walls, of course, dimensioned like this.